Have you ever noticed how, in certain quiet moments, something within you begins to stir? Something delicate, almost trembling, as though the fabric of the world around you suddenly feels thinner, more transparent? You sense that what you call life is only a shadow, a reflection upon water, and that beneath it lies a vast ocean of truth waiting to be seen. Have you ever felt that the true meaning of existence might not dwell in your thoughts, your ambitions, or your plans, but in a silence deeper than words, a stillness that seems to breathe through you rather than belong to you? That feeling, subtle yet immense, is the beginning of awakening, the moment the soul begins to open its eyes. It is not the body rising from sleep, nor the mind stretching toward a new idea. It is the heart's remembrance of something ancient and eternal. This is the moment when the veil of illusion thins, and the soul glimpses the light behind the play of form. As Rumi said, "Don't grieve. Anything you lose comes round in another form." These words whisper the secret that nothing real is ever lost. Everything merely changes its clothing. The divine dances through every end, every sorrow, every silence, returning to us in new shapes. Yet awakening is not something the will can demand. It does not obey effort or ambition. It arrives like dawn, uninvited but inevitable. You cannot pull the sun over the horizon. You can only open your window and wait for the first light. Awakening is not a conquest. It is surrender. It is the soul's gentle yielding to what has always been. Rumi says, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." And so often, awakening begins with heartbreak, with loss, confusion, or the aching emptiness of not knowing who you are. That ache is not punishment, it is invitation. In the hollow space of longing, the divine can finally speak. When this awakening begins, something miraculous yet difficult happens. You begin to see that everything you believed about yourself, your name, your identity, your history, are ripples upon the surface of a vast still sea. Beneath them lies something infinite. You are not a fragment drifting through time. You are the ocean pretending to be a wave. Rumi reminds us, "You were born with wings. Why prefer to crawl through life?" This is not metaphor. It is remembrance. The moment you awaken, you recall that your essence was never bound by fear or form. You are not here to survive, you are here to shine. But here comes the first great mystery. Once you see the truth, you cannot fully speak it. 1. The unspoken truth. When the veil lifts and the light floods in, the heart trembles with wonder. You want to share it, to run through the streets crying, "Look, it's all one." There was never separation. But when you try, words collapse. The truth cannot fit inside the teacup of language. The ocean refuses to be poured into a bowl. As Rumi teaches, the deepest knowledge cannot be spoken. It must be lived. What you have seen is not information. It is transformation. To speak of awakening too early is to confuse the listener. Those who have not yet tasted that wine will only hear poetry, not reality. The awakened heart learns to guard its silence not with pride, but with reverence. Some truths burn too brightly for unready eyes. The mystic does not hide what he knows. He simply understands that truth must ripen before it can nourish. Rumi's silence was never empty. It was a language of presence. The enlightened do not shout their realizations. They radiate them. They know that speech is a veil as much as it is a revelation. The more you speak of the infinite, the further you drift from its immediacy. It can only be known in stillness, in the quiet pulse of being. And so the first secret of awakening is this: live the truth, do not declare it. 2. The unique path. The second truth is one of humility. What opened your heart will not open another's. The path that healed you may wound someone else. Each soul's journey to the real is uniquely woven by the beloved. Rumi once wrote, "The lamps are different, but the light is the same. Every soul holds a distinct lamp, its own temperament, its own rhythm, its own timing. To hand your map to another is to mislead them, for the divine draws each route differently. Your awakening is not a formula, it is a meeting. You did not climb a ladder to God. You fell into His arms when you stopped climbing. To turn your experience into a method is to trap the living in the lifeless. As Ibn Arabi, whom Rumi deeply respected, said, "No two journeys to God are alike, yet all end in the same presence. So hold your experience sacred but not secret. Guard it in silence, not in pride. Let your life, not your lips, express what you have seen. When truth is genuine, it does not need defense. It shines through your being like fragrance from a rose. Do not instruct others on how to awaken. Embody awakening and let your presence invite them to remember." Rumi says, "The quieter you become, the more you are able to hear. And when another heart is ready, it will find its own way to the garden." 3. The compassionate silence. As the veil continues to thin, you begin to see into others. You notice their fears, their hidden wounds, their illusions. You want to help. You wish to tear down the veils for them as yours were torn. But here lies the third secret. Unveiling another's truth before its time is a form of violence. Rumi warns us, do not be content with stories how things have gone with others. Unfold your own myth. Every soul must awaken at its own pace. You cannot force a flower to bloom by pulling at its petals. The cocoon that looks like confinement is protection. The struggle itself is sacred. It builds the wings of understanding. To reveal too much to one who is not yet ready is to rob them of their necessary darkness, the soil from which their light must grow. The wise teacher listens more than he speaks. He trusts the divine timing that governs all hearts. As Rumi said, "What you seek is seeking you." The soul will meet its truth when it is ready, not when another insists. So let compassion guide your silence. When you stop preaching, you begin radiating. The awakened do not awaken others. They create the space where awakening becomes possible. 4. The vision of oneness. Then comes a deeper unveiling, the experience of lost high, the holy emptiness. You see that nothing truly exists apart from Him. All forms are waves of one sea, rising and dissolving into themselves. The eye that sees and the seen are one movement. In that moment, the illusion of solidity dissolves. You realize there is no separate me walking through the world. Only the divine walking is you. This is liberation to the ready heart, but terror to the unready one. To those still clinging to identity, this truth feels like annihilation. Rumi whispers, "When I lost myself, I found God." What feels like disappearance is actually expansion. You do not vanish, you become vast. What you called was never small. It was the sky mistaken for a window. But this truth must be poured carefully. As Ibn Arabi said, the wine of unity must be poured only into cups that hold it. To speak of oneness to those still living in duality can break their understanding. So let silence teach what words cannot. The nothingness you fear is not a void. It is fullness too vast for thought. It is the hidden face of the everything you seek. When the mirror of the heart is polished of images, the real begins to reflect. The mystic's joy is not in denying the world, but in seeing the divine in every corner of it. As Rumi wrote, the universe is not outside of you. Look inside yourself. Everything that you want, you already are. This is the fragrance of true seeing. 5. The divine freedom. Finally, the most subtle secret, freedom. When the veil has fully fallen, the awakened soul realizes that moral rules and customs, though necessary in the world, are not ultimate in truth. You see that all action, all beings, all breaths are His. There can be no law between the hand and what it moves. But this is not rebellion. It is deeper obedience. The unawakened hear anarchy, where the mystic means surrender. Yet when one sees no other, harm becomes impossible. Rumi says, "When I saw the one in all, my hands forgot how to strike." The sage acts with compassion not because he must, but because he cannot do otherwise. His love is not effort, it is his nature. He moves through the world like sunlight through trees, illuminating without claiming, nourishing without demanding. He honors his word, pays his debts, and walks gently, not because of duty but devotion. He knows rebellion without mercy is still ego. True freedom is humble. The realized one lives like an actor who knows he is in a divine play, aware of illusion, yet performing his role with grace. He does not destroy the stage for others still learning their lines. He smiles, bows, and moves with care, remembering the unseen author behind it all. This is divine freedom, not freedom from morality, but freedom through love. So, O seeker of the inward light, guard these 5 secrets not out of fear, but out of mercy. Speak less, live more. Let your peace be your teaching, your kindness your scripture, your silence your sermon. When the truth ripens in another, they will taste it through your presence, not your speech. Rumi said, "Raise your words, not your voice." It is rain that grows flowers, not thunder. The truly awakened move through the world like calm rivers, reflecting the sky without effort, nourishing all they touch. You may not understand their words, but you feel their peace. They are the living translation of divine stillness. And when you dwell near them, something within you remembers, this too is your home. So live your awakening as fragrance, not proclamation. Be a seeker among seekers, not a preacher above them. The same light that stirs in your heart stirs in every heart. It is not you who awaken others, it is the beloved awakening through you. And when your heart grows quiet enough, you will see there was never a journey, never a distance. The destination was here, always here. The seeker was the sought. The ocean was the drop. The lover and the beloved were never two. Be still. Be kind. You are already home. And if this journey has touched your soul, like and subscribe so together we may keep walking toward the